Ragefire Chasm is within the heart of Orgrimmar. Under the Horde's main city, within a network of tunnels and lava, is a dungeon that is filled with hostile entities like trogs. But also the members of the Burning Blade have begun exploring this area. One can enter it through the Cleft of Shadows, next to Nero Fireblade's tent. Ragefire Chasm is known to be a very short dungeon, and of the easiest difficulty, as it has the lowest requirement to enter at level 10. For many players, especially Horde players, this will be their first instance. So, with that intro done, let's talk about it. During Rexar's visit to Orgrimmar, it was Chief Goblin Engineer Gazlowe who discovered Ragefire Chasm. Beneath Orgrimmar lies this network of tunnels. Not too long ago, the Ragefire Trog clan started to dwell in the chasm. They came from deep below the Ragefire Chasm and found their way upwards. Why? We don't know. The Tauren seer Magatha tried to make peace with the Trogs, inviting them for a mutual peaceful understanding, but was only met by violence. It was made very clear that the Trogs were not out to be allies, but would attack anyone who would trespass on their newfound base. Because the Trog clan had so many members, there was the fear that if they would increase in numbers, they could overthrow Orgrimmar and potentially the Horde. A part of the mysterious Shadow Council had also made their way into the chasm. This part, known as the Searing Blade, is led by three well-known figures: Targaman the Hungerer, who is a Felguard, Jurgosh the Invoker, a powerful warlock, and Bazelan, a satyr. From within the dungeon they are plotting to overthrow and destroy everything the Horde has built in these lands. From World Dungeons on the old World of Warcraft website, we can find the next paragraph. Ragefire Chasm consists of a network of volcanic caverns that lie below the Orcs' new capital city of Orgrimmar. Recently, rumors have spread that a cult loyal to the demonic Shadow Council has taken up residence within the chasm's fiery depths. This cult, known as the Burning Blade, threatens the very sovereignty of Durotar. Many believe that the Orc Warchief Thrall is aware of the Blade's existence and has chosen not to destroy it in the hopes that its members might lead him straight to the Shadow Council. Either way, the dark power emanating from the Ragefire Chasm could undo all that the Orcs have fought to attain. Because Ragefire Chasm is the first dungeon available, it's not very difficult, long, or contains any impressive loot. It's a great starting experience for anyone new to the dungeoning system. The dungeon doesn't even require you to bring a meta team of any sorts, just a healer seems to be like a mandatory class to bring, but other than that it doesn't really matter. Perhaps someone who can hold a shield for Targaman. As long as you're all at the correct level, it should be a blast to get through. Some of the trogs at the early part can be a bit tricky when pulling, as you can easily pull multiple packs and then you're in for the fight of a lifetime. Apart from the trogs, there are also some elementals in the dungeon. They can be more easily pulled in small groups of 1 or 2. After that, you can start clearing out the Searing Blade cultists. Once you've cleared the way to the massive demon standing in the middle of the lava lake, you are ready for what is probably the most powerful enemy in the dungeon, Targaman the Hungerer. If you have a tank to pick him up, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. He hits the hardest out of all the mobs and also has a knockback, which can throw you into other mobs or the lava. Once defeating the demon, the last remaining targets will be Jurgosh and Bazelan. Usually people go for Jurgosh first as he's downstairs, and then clean up all the way around to Bazelan. And after that, you have effectively cleared out the threat below Orgrimmar and the dungeon is over. When it comes to Alliance players, however, this is a bit more tricky. Ragefire Chasm was mostly a Horde-only dungeon before the introduction of the Dungeon Finder feature, making it as good as impossible for Alliance players to run this dungeon, unless they want to corpse run their way inside, as the guards of Orgrimmar will obliterate you at such a low level. However, later on, Alliance players who wanted the classic Dungeon Master achievement are required to complete Ragefire Chasm, so they had to find a way. As said before, you could unequip all your gear and corpse run your way inside until you make it in, but for those who want to fight after all, just mind the guards and the other players in the vicinity. It's all kind of similar to how a Horde player would clear the stockades without the Dungeon Finder tool. In Cataclysm, Ragefire Chasm was raised to a level 15 to 21 zone to match the level range of the Deadmines, so both factions had an equal first dungeon. This imbalance had been in the game until now, but in Mists of Pandaria they changed it back to level 15 to 16, and no one knows why. Ogleflint has been moved down to where the circular area of Trogs is, and is now considered a full boss instead of a mini-boss or a side boss. Quest givers are now inside the instance, and the Dungeon Finder level was raised to a level 21 cap, starting at level 15. And that is the story of Ragefire Chasm. If you enjoyed, Perhaps leave me a like as it helps me to get found by new and more people, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos recommended to you. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.